Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this edition of What He Said with Kevin Walker. Of course, I am Kevin Walker. Today's date, February the 1st, 2023. Yeah, we're not in the pandemic all over again. Let me not scare you there, but it is February 1st, 2023. I am Kevin Walker. Thank you for joining the show, What He Said with Kevin Walker. We're going to have another fun night. Hey, man, I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for being a part of what we're building. At the 30-minute mark, I got a major announcement. I got a big announcement. I'm excited about it. Um, I think you guys will be excited too because most of y'all have been with me from like day one when I started this whole podcast journey. Just originally started just to have fun. I'm still having fun. Just to talk about some things. And this announcement I got coming up at the bottom of the hour at 8:30. Hey, I think y'all will like it. I think y'all will be cool with the announcement at 8:30. And it's a salute to you guys that have been supportive with me. We're doing this show tonight. I'm gonna discuss Demeco Ryan's getting the opportunity to be the new head football coach of the Houston Texans. Um, it's a lot of kind of mixed emotions out there about it. I tell you what's the total wrong emotion to have about it. We'll talk about that in a second. Verbal and physical abuse. Like, what's the difference? So, what's the difference between someone physically abusing you and someone verbally abusing you? Because at the end of the day, they both hurt. We'll talk about that tonight. And validation. Hey, I don't know about you, but I can tell you about me. I need nobody's validation on what I am and who I am as a person. So we had a conversation a few weeks back where the topic was, what's the difference between me and you? Well, that's one of the differences. But I hope you're more like me than like others, to where you don't need people's validation to be who you are and what you are. Well, let's start somewhere different tonight. Man, in this month, we're in the month of February in the year 2023. So in February 1987, I had the opportunity, along with several other of my high school teammates, several other kids around the city, around the state, to sign what they called back then a letter of intent. That's when you sign a letter of intent to attend a university to extend your academic and athletic career. Personally, I chose Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas. Met some really great people there. I wouldn't change that for the world. Now, there is some things that I would do different. If I was given the opportunity to go back and do it all over again, there are some things that I would definitely do different when choosing to play football and continue my academics at Texas Tech. Because one thing I didn't do, and I'm like I tell y'all, I'm gonna tell the truth on this podcast at all times. One thing I didn't do was continue my academics. And too smart of a guy for that, too smart of a man not to have done that. And that at that point in my life, although I went back and did some stuff later, I had a chance to do it young and probably would have saw much more success long term academically for what I accomplished, for what I would have accomplished. But today, the reason why I bring up what I did in 1987 in the month of February, signing with Texas Tech University, being a Red Raider, when the sun's up, your gun's up. Today was National Signing Day again for kids. For those kids that didn't sign early, they signed today. So you got football, track, what have you, a boatload of kids signed scholarships today to continue their athletic and academic futures on campus colleges across America. Shout out to those parents for getting your kid to this point. But I'll tell you this, it doesn't stop here, parents. You still got to be there. You still got to have your presence on campus, letting not only your baby know, but the coaches know that he comes from a solid home and a solid environment, and that your baby has people behind him that's supporting him 100%. For me, again, not making any excuses. Hey, my mom had to work to survive. So my mom was dependent upon me to go to school, go to class, and do the right things. High school, never a problem. I did what I was supposed to do, went to class, made tremendous grades, AB student, AB honor roll. But once it got to college, you know, you got to grow up. I didn't grow up. I didn't do it right. So parents, I would say to you, stay in your kid's ass until they get the message, until they get the response that, hey, we ain't backing off. Nobody's stepping away, because you've got free school, free. Man, some tuition now on college campus. We're talking about $25,000 to $30,000 a year for your kid to go to school. And I had free schooling at Texas Tech. I was a football player. Probably could have got a little bit of it in basketball as well, but definitely got it in football for sure. And that part of it, I blew. All I'm telling you, parents, is even though your baby signed that scholarship, keep your face in the place. I understand you got to work. I understand you can't be there every day. And I always said personally, when I was getting the opportunity, traveling around America, visiting college campuses, I said, I don't want to go to U of H. I don't want to go to Rice. I want to go somewhere out of the city of Houston, and maybe even out of the state of Texas. My 5 recruiting visits was, I went to Texas Tech on one, and they're very odd. I went to Texas Tech. I went to the University of Miami. I went to Southern Cal. I went to A&M, and I went to Austin to UT. Those were my 5. I mean, I was a big-time recruit. I played next to a guy that was a stud free safety that everybody in the country wanted as well, Cedric Davenport, who ended up on the I think it was the all-decade team or something back then that he ended up making. And I got a little honorable mention on that all-decade team. But the guy was a great athlete. We had fun in high school playing football and basketball together. He wore 84. I wore 83 in football, and we played defense. We were safeties. He wore 42 on the basketball court. I wore 40. But, we enjoyed playing together. We enjoyed hanging out in our baby days, so to speak, in high school. But parents, again, you got to keep your foot on your kid's neck. Don't just send them away and let them go and think they got it just because they had been responsible all the way up to this point. And you say, well, Kevin, what's the difference? Let me tell you the difference between high school and college. Number one, the number one difference between high school and college is that in college, they expect for you to come in and have a level of maturity. Meaning you can wake yourself up in the morning, you can make the class when you're supposed to be at class, whatever that time is. And number two, the biggest difference between high school and college, hey, sex is at an all-time high. Sex is at an all-time high in college. Sex is at an all-time high in college. So when I was a true freshman, 18 years old, true freshman on a college campus, there was a lady I met in a club called Crystals in Lubbock. Most of y'all, some of y'all know about Crystals if you attended Texas Tech. There was a club called Crystals. I met a grown-ass woman, damn near 40 years old. Damn near 40 years old. This was the first woman ever. I don't want to say her name. I just don't. I ain't gonna put nobody's name out there. But this woman gave me head, and even once I came, she wouldn't stop. She pinned me down on the bed and held me down. Like, I'm thinking, and I'm just being real with y'all, I'm thinking, I'm the man. I'm smashing this older chick that's nice, fine with her own crib, not realizing, boy, you a boy toy. This lady having her way with you. This lady doing what she want to do with somebody's son, and there's no repercussions. So my roommate was in the other room with her sister, who was close to our age, but not quite our age. I think she was in her early 20s. We hadn't even hit 20 yet. We were for real babies. So after the night was over, she drove us back to our rooms, and she called me damn near every day for a week. Now, mind you, this woman was twice my age. This woman was, I used to tell my roommate, Big Mac, tell her I ain't here, bro. I'm not here. He not here. He going to work out. He not here. He going to class. He was like, Kev, you going to see her again in the club. What you going to do or what you going to say then? I'll figure it out once I get to that point. But I was scared of that woman. That woman basically raped me. I didn't know no better, y'all. This lady basically raped me at 18, and she was 37 years old. I remember her, yes, I do. I still remember how old she was. That lets you know what kind of effect this lady had on me at 37 and I'm 18. So parents, what I'm telling you, my point to you is stay attached to your kids when you send them off on a college campus. Parents that's sending girls off to go play volleyball, to go run track, to go play basketball, please stay attached to your daughters. Please stay attached to your daughters. Because the best thing that can happen to your daughter on a college campus, the best thing that can happen is that she just go away to school, get her education, and return home pure as the driven snow. Hey, for all y'all with daughters, that ain't gonna happen on a college campus. Get that out your damn head right now. When your daughter goes away to school, every predator on campus, football, first off, well, they got like 110 football players. So it's like over 110 football players. And see, here's the deal with going to Texas Tech in the 80s. It wasn't a lot of black girls on campus at Texas Tech in the 80s. So it was a rare premium of black girls, some being athletes, that were on campus. The athletes, you know. But there were a few other black girls on campus that were really, really nice. But we all sitting around like predators, seeing who can put their bid in. Stay attached to your kids. Know what's going on. Have open dialogue with your kids about what they're going through in college. Make sure the lines of communication with your kids in college stay open. Be conversational with your kid when they go off to school. Don't dismiss what they're saying when they go off to school. Be the best parent you can be when your baby go off to school. Because trust me, you got people like Greg Burton that's on here that said, when the girls show up to the weekend before school started, we were yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We all hung out in front of the dorms waiting to see. I remember coach calling them show ponies. The show ponies will be in this weekend. That was what was coach's name? He was a DB coach for a while. He ended up getting fired. Seen better hands on the clock. Here come the show ponies, guys. Get ready for the show. Coach Van Zant. Coach Van Zant. Coach Van Zant. So yeah, but no, look, hey, congratulations to all the kids, man, who are able to sign scholarships this weekend. What's up, Big Jervis? Jervis saying it's an eye opener when the 360 app tells you which you are 18-year-old, 17 in my case, child is sleeping in. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, he did get fired. Coach Van Zant, Greg. So yeah, no, keep an eye on your kids. Like seriously, when they go away to school, keep an eye on your kids. Just let them know you're there for them. Hey, just show up on campus sometime on the weekend. Hop in your car and drive up and be there. I don't care if it's a 10-hour drive like it was back then to go to Lubbock. Show up on campus for your kid. Seriously, all bullshit aside. Show up on campus for your kid when you send your kid off to school. So let me go to my next topic on the night. I'm gonna discuss Demeco Ryans. You know, shout out to the Houston Texans this week for signing Demeco Ryans as their new head coach. Congratulations to Demeco Ryans for having a great coaching career up to this point. Hey, look, I'm an optimist, and I'm optimistic to the point with Demeco to where here's my Demeco Ryan take, and I'm gonna move on from Demeco. But here's my Demeco Ryan take. You got free agents who can go anywhere they want to play football when you're a free agent. You're not under contract. For those of you who don't know, you're not under contract with any team in the league. But what most veteran free agents don't want to do is go to a team with chaos or go to a team that doesn't have the opportunity to be a winner. Most veteran guys ain't trying to make that move because they're trying to maybe at some point get a Super Bowl ring or chase the bag, basically, as they say today. But when you hire a credible person in your front office like Demeco Ryan, what you do is those free agents that wouldn't look at your city or look at your team, now they're taking a look at your city. They're taking a look at your team. See, Houston is a great place to live. The state of Texas is a great place to live based on the tax situation. So players don't have to be sold on the city of Houston and the state of Texas. What players got to be sold on is playing in the Houston Texans organization that's been a shit show. I don't care if you're a Texan fan, you got to be realistic about who and what your team is. The Houston Texans have been a shit show for about 5 or 6 years now. The last couple of years of Billy O'Brien, and then the last 3 years, period, they've been ridiculous to watch. But bringing in Demeco throws all that out the window. Now, here's a man's man. And I know they use that term a lot. They use it loosely, man's man. But here's how you know you got the right guy. Demeco Ryan's nickname amongst the players when he was still playing in the NFL, he played in Houston and he played in Philadelphia. His nickname was Cap. That means they called him Captain, meaning he was in charge, meaning he was the voice in the locker room. As a player, this was the respect that this dude garnered when he was still a player in the league. So imagine now Imagine being the head coach, the guy who's supposed to be the most respected in the room. Man, I think this was the best freaking hire that the Texans could have made. They did themselves a true favor by hiring Demeco Ryan. Because guess who comes back now? Hey, Andre Johnson's going to always be in the building because that's his buddy. So now here comes all the ex-Texans back into the building, bringing credibility to the building. So now some of the young cats, some of the younger players, first year, second year, third year guys, are going to get a chance to pick the brain of potential Hall of Fame athletes like Andre Johnson. So John Mechie, the draft pick from last season that didn't play a down because he had Hodgkin's lymphoma, say that 3 times, he gets to pick Andre Johnson's brain now because Andre will be around more. Who better to teach you how to be a receiver than one of the greatest of all time? One of the greatest. I didn't say the greatest. I said one of the greatest. So there are so many things with the Texans making this hire to bring back Demeco that's astonishing. Here's what I don't agree with from some of you idiots about Demeco. So I saw some people posting and saying, oh, they just hired another black coach. You know how they do their black coaches. Why would you be a black coach and take that job? And I'm sitting back thinking, like, are you freaking serious? What do you mean how they do their black coaches? Cully, one and done. One and done. They fired him after 1 year, but he deserved to be fired. Do you think David Culley is mad because he got fired after 1 year? This man walked away with $22 million guaranteed. If that's mistreatment, I'll sign up for that. Mistreat my ass to the tune of $22 million. Mistreat me to the tune of $22 million. They gave this guy $22 million after 1 year to go away. And let's be real, Coach Culley, he wasn't ready for that job. He didn't deserve that job. Want to move on? Lovie Smith. 1 year. 1 year. Lovie knew what he was signing up for. Lovie knew he was just a placeholder. 1 year, 18 mil. Guaranteed deal. He walks away with 8. That's $40 million tied up in 2 coaches. If that's mistreatment, guys, I don't know what mistreatment is. Hey, mistreat me to the tune of $40 million. So now here comes Demeco in the door. He's got a 6-year guaranteed deal. Now, when I say guaranteed deal, ladies and gents, he's not guaranteed to be the head coach for 6 years, but he's guaranteed to get that money that they offered him for 6 years. I don't know what the money is. I hadn't seen the terms, but I can guarantee you it's 30 plus mil. I can guarantee you Demeco's going to be well paid if they decide to fire him after 3 or 4 years. So quit making dumbass comments about them mistreating black coaches. They're not mistreating black coaches. They're not. I'm sorry. They're giving opportunity to black coaches. Being a coach is a results-driven business. To be a coach, you have to win. To maintain your job, you have to win. So Greg says it's rumored $6 million a year. So 6 years for $6 million a year, that's $36 million. That's why I said 30 plus. I knew it had to be somewhere in that neighborhood. So quit pulling the race card when the race card doesn't need to be played at all. There's nothing about the Texans organization that says racism. Nothing. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. Nothing about the Texans organization says they're racist. The longest running GM in Houston Texans history is Rick Smith, a black man. Quit blaming race on people's inability to achieve success. Race has nothing to do with it. Race has nothing to do with it. The Rockets suck right now. They got a black head coach. They suck. He's too nice of a guy. He was out. Who wasn't black? Who you saying not black, Ron Love? When Paul Silas was out and John Lucas took over the team, they had their most successful run over a 10-game span when he was out because Cool Hand Luke, Rick Smith is black. What are you talking about? Rick Smith is black. They had their best run over a 10-game span when John Lucas took over the Rockets. Because when you've got young players, you've got to have discipline. You've got to have discipline when you've got young players. That's why highly successful college coaches don't work on the NBA and NFL level. Highly successful college coaches don't work. Because what puts fear in my heart at 18 don't scare me at 25, 26, 27 when I'm making 3 times your salary. I'm a grown-ass man now with a wife and kids myself. There's been a rare breed, and I can only name one, but I'm sure there's been more. I can only name one lifer in college football that made the transition to professional football that had success at the professional level after coaching forever in college, and that was Jimmy Johnson. But what Jimmy did to maintain that success was Jimmy turned that roster upside down with young, hungry players. He got a quarterback he was familiar with in Aikman, who he recruited, that ended up going to Oklahoma, then going to UCLA. And the one thing Jimmy said when he first got to Dallas is that I left a gang of kids in Miami at the University of Miami that's better than over half of this roster. So let's see what y'all talking about on here. Greg Burton. Stephen Warren. Oh, dang, I don't know what that means. Dog mentally. Mentally and rapport. Okay. Okay, y'all really talking to each other, so nobody's saying anything I need to read. Okay, so it's hard to find a coach that makes that transition from college to pro and does it in a successful manner. Because you just can't deal with grown men like you can deal with 18, 19, 20-year-olds. You can't do it. So when you're dealing with a younger roster in the NBA and NFL, yeah, you can be strict as fuck. You can. But what I know for a fact, when there is a young roster and you got veteran players sprinkled in, the coaches will go to the veteran player and like, look, I'm going to jump your ass today. I'm going to stay on you. But I got to send a message to these younger guys about what it's going to take to be successful at this level. So I need to use you. I need to use you as a conduit. I need to use you as a conduit to get on these younger boys' asses and get my message across. Because what they're going to say is, if he'll jump in his ass, he can get on any one of ours. So that's what happens with young teams that sprinkle in veteran players trying to get better. Because, look, professional sports, whether you like it or not, is a young man's game. You don't get many Tom Brady's that's a truly freak of nature. You don't get many guys like that to play the game for as long as he has and be just a true grown-ass man in professional sports. Let's see what Byron said. Byron Washington says, do you think about Stephen A's comment? You must have meant comment. Stephen A's comment about black coaches shouldn't want to coach for the Texans. No, because again, B, I mean, to me, that's stupid. That's ignorant. Why wouldn't a black coach want to coach for the Texans? Why wouldn't a black coach want to coach for the Texans? I don't get that. I don't get why. I mean, I don't know. Look, here's my last sports comment of the night, and I'm gonna move on. Y'all bear with me on this one, because I'm baffled. I'm baffled. This is my last sports take of the night, and I'm moving on to my other stuff. Y'all leave Dakota Rain Prescott alone. And yeah, that's his full name, Dakota Rain Prescott. Y'all leave that man alone. Leave Dak alone. Because if we're real, let's be football analysts for a moment. I got a bunch of guys on here I respect. I got Byron on here, Greg, a bunch of other guys that played the game at the highest of levels, collegiately. And that know enough about the game to comment if I'm wrong and tell me to shut the hell up. When you truly examine the Dallas Cowboys football team, that defense played very well. I'll give them their card. They played very well. But in order to achieve success against them defensively, every defense, I don't care who it is, has flaws. Their flaws is in their secondary. And so, yeah, you put 6 guys in the pattern, 4 or 5 guys in the pattern, you can have success against the Cowboys defense. But let's talk about what everybody else wants to use. All you freaking Cowboy fans want to use Dak. All you freaking Cowboy fans want to use Dak as the scapegoat. Dak's got one kid that's a rising number 1 receiver. And I guarantee you, if you list the top 5 receivers in the league, maybe CeeDee Lamb comes up, maybe CeeDee Lamb doesn't come up. They've got CD. That's the only true weapon on the outside. Gallup is playing the number 2 role, coming off a catastrophic knee injury, when even still Gallup's skill level says he's a number 3. Gallup's not a true number 2. The worst thing they ever did, the dumbest shit Jerry Jones ever did, was getting rid of Amari Cooper. When you've got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Gallup, guys better have 3 quality corners to cover those guys. If you ain't got 3 quality corners to play against those guys, where Gallup can play against the 3rd best DB on the field, when Gallup has to go against the number 2 cornerback all night, or you get corners who don't flop sides, so now maybe their number 1 corner is taking Gallup out of the game, and they're going to trust their number 1 corner against Gallup, and they're going to double CD and take CD away, because that's what good defensive-minded coordinators do. You got a injury a catastrophic injury to a young running back, and now you got to go back to Zeke the freak who don't want it. Man, Zeke don't want to be hit no more, and I don't blame Zeke. Hell, y'all paid me guaranteed money. I got one more year left in my deal unless y'all want to cut me, but you still got to pay me. And the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys, let's be real, is average and suspect at best. But everybody wants to blame Dak. All you damn Cowboy fans want to blame Dak. Why do y'all want to point the finger at Dak so bad? Did Dak make some mistakes? Yeah, that first interception Dak threw, I ain't gonna lie, that was horrible, Dak. That was horrible. See, here's how I judge horrible. Greg Burton, Donald Gregory, Gary Manuel, Face Mob, Byron Washington. Here's how I judge horrible. If right now, 53-year-old me could have made the same play that cornerback made, that was a horrible decision. I could have picked that shit off. This boy picked that ball off 4 yards. If you go back and look at the replay, that cornerback broke on the ball. He ran the route, as they say, for the receiver. He picked that ball off 4 yards in front of Gallup. 4. That was a horrible decision. That ball should not have ever been thrown, Dak Prescott. But Dak ain't the problem. I'm not saying Dak is not a problem, but Dak ain't the problem. Dak is not what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. You want to know what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys, Kurt Green? Because that's your team. You still have to have an offensive scheme with balance. Throwing the ball 66 times in a football game, my brother, is not balanced. Man, you clearly have had too many blows to the head as a defensive end and a strong safety in college. You've had too many blows to the head if you think Dak was their issue. If you don't have balance, if you throw the ball 66 times in a game, and I use 66 as the number because the last game when the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers, Tom Brady threw the ball 66 times. Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, a black coach, deserved to get his ass fired. When you come anywhere close to throwing a football 66 times, that means you have no offensive balance. That came close to that in that game. That came close to throwing the ball 50 plus times. That means you have no offensive balance whatsoever. So now, as a coordinator, I'm going with a straight dime defense. I'm going straight dime. And for those of you ladies who watching, a dime means I'm going to have more pass personnel on the field on defense than run personnel, meaning I'm going to set my defense up to stop your pass. I got more smaller, faster, athletic guys on the field than I do big guys because you're not showing me a competitive balance. You're not showing me where I need to respect what you've got going on. So don't feed me the Dak Prescott BS about Dak is the problem. Dak is not the problem. Dak's decision-making is suspect at times. But y'all was just ready the week before to allow Dak to come in your house when they beat the Buccaneers and make love to your wife. So y'all went from letting Dak screw your wife to wanting to take him out back and kill him. So here's what I said this week. And I'm not even a Houston Texan fan. Here's what I said. What's up, Callie? Here's what I said. If y'all think Dak is so horrible, that boy said, can we get back to talking about pussy? I know we are. We are. This is my last take on Dak. If y'all think Dak is so horrible, send Dak to Houston for this year and next year's second round draft. We're going to give y'all 2 second round draft picks for Dak Prescott. Let Dak be the starter in Houston. Send Dak to Houston. And y'all get the second pick and the second pick in 2023 and second pick in 2024. And throw in something else. Y'all throw in something else to us off of y'all defense. Like sign Van Der Esch, do a sign and trade with Van Der Esch. Give us one more linebacker. We got the young kid Harris from Alabama. Give us one more linebacker in Houston. And I'm not even a Texans fan, but I'm just telling you what it worked. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about validation. Let's talk about validation. Because some people, egos, lack the ability to seek comfort or to feel special just based on who they are. I don't need not a female or not a male in the world to validate me, Kevin Walker, as a person. I can go to work, come home, and I'm at peace. No validation necessary from nobody. Because I'm secure in what I am and who I am as a man, first and foremost. So I can seek peace in the atmosphere that I've created in my own home. I don't need nobody's validation. See, let's talk validation for a second. Let me help y'all understand what validation truly is. So you know how like when you go to the doctor, you park in the parking garage, you have to punch the button to get a ticket. They give you a ticket and you have to take that ticket into the doctor's office where you're going and they stamp it, giving you approval to use that garage at no charge. They're telling you when you take that back that they're going to allow you out of that garage without you giving them payment. Validation. Validation. Kevin Walker don't need validation. I don't seek validation through not one single woman, ever. I think people that need validation are still stuck in high school. People who need validation also need to grow up. Because what's important to people who seek validation, I say they seek validation through designer and being popular. They seek validation in their shirt saying Louis Vuitton, Gucci. Hey man, I'm cool with a t-shirt and some jeans on. I'm cool being me. I'm good with being me. I say this all the time. Look, if I don't never ever in my life get no more coochie, if I don't never get no more coochie, if a woman never has sex with me again in my life, say, man, I done had enough. I ain't gonna even lie to you. And I've never had to try and impress a woman with stuff. I've never tried to impress a woman with stuff. I never had to impress a woman with stuff. Women normally Women normally, a real woman, we're talking real woman here. I ain't talking about a girl, I'm talking about a real woman. A real woman is normally impressed with your tongue, meaning how you talk to her, how you treat her, what you say in fits of anger. Because here's the thing. Now watch this. Y'all tell me, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. There is no difference between verbally abusing someone and physically abusing someone. What's the difference? Well, you say one of them hurt. No, both of them hurt. So as a man, come on, Jay Lee, stay on here. Coach Kevin trying to teach you something tonight, mama, because you grew up. You a grown-ass woman now. You're 21. You made 21. One of y'all did. Shit, you are Jordan. So here's the thing. As a man, if I get angry and put my hands on you, now I'm physically abusing you. I'm destroying who you are. I'm killing your character. So women, in the same manner, when you get upset and you start to shout and use expletives, because for women, and this is what I tell dudes so often, like, bro, when you start talking loud and screaming, when you start doing all that, to me, you being a female, because that's how women, not all women, some women win arguments because they try and talk louder than you. But women strike back or strike out or try and lash out at you with a verbal assault. Assault is assault. If I love you and you attack me verbally, that's hurtful. That's hurtful. When you attack me verbally, that's hurtful. That hurts. The same way as a man, if I attack you physically, that hurts. What's the difference? What's the difference? We're still harming each other's ego. We're still harming each other's it hurts. Let me go back and read some of what y'all saying. Y'all making like some people got something good to say. Let me roll back a little bit. Let's go back up here to what Jay had. Jay said validation and recognition are two different things. Oh, I agree with that. Hell no. Somebody said hell no. Done deal done. What's up, brother? Done deal done said, are you sure you're not talking about security and insecurity versus validation? I mean, okay, so when we talk about validation, we're talking about somebody being secure in themselves. So that pretty much is the same thing. It's my validation. I don't need nobody to validate who I am as a person. I'm not insecure as a man, so I don't need you to validate me to make me feel secure about myself. So Greg Burton said, some of the ugliest people on the planet post selfies every day, wanting everyone. No, you're right. Wanting everyone to tell them they look good. You're right, Greg. Inner peace and confidence, Sean Eaglin. You're right. Adrian says, speak. Kylie Spencer. Her name is Kylie, fellas. Says, tongue, facts. Kurt said, verbal abuse is worse. Kurt also said, verbal abuse lasts much longer, than physical abuse because of the mental aspects of it. That's true, Kurt. You're right, bro. Adria said, I agree, Kurt. Jay Lee, performance. She just a baby. She gonna watch this and learn tonight, though, Ron. She just a baby. That's one of Coach Kevin babies. She just supporting Coach Kevin watching the show. But she gonna learn. She gonna learn something tonight. One love. Face mob. Same, Sean. Okay. No, so guys, when we talk verbal abuse, I think that's a woman's way And I'm just being real. I think that's a woman's way to hurt your ego as a man with her shots. Because most women probably feel, I'm not saying all, again, when I make comments and I say women and men, I'm not talking about everybody, but most women probably feel that physically, there's nothing she can do to hurt your body unless she just get a good square lick and punch you dead in the balls one good time. That's probably her only best way, or unless she got a gun and bow bow. But we ain't co-signing that. We ain't signing up to be shot. So the only way a woman can truly get at you is to hurt you verbally. Is to try and come at you to kill your ego. And y'all are absolutely correct by saying the verbal assaults, man, they never go away. They never go away. Never go away. I was told by someone when we were in a heated conversation, I don't know how this or why this popped out of their mouth, but she called my mama a bitch. And my mama loved this girl. My mama loved this girl. And she said, your mama is a bitch. Tell that bitch that you call mama, is what her comment was. Tell that bitch you call mama. Yeah. Yeah. What can I do? I couldn't beat her ass. And she knew that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put my hands on her. And she knew that. But that is something that I still carry with me, as you can see, to this day. I still remember this woman calling my mom a bitch, and that's something I could never, ever forgive her for. When people ask, do you think? I'm like, nah, you know what? That's never a possibility, because I could never forgive that woman for calling my mother a bitch. I just couldn't. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being childish, but I just, hey, that cut like a knife. That cut like a knife. Because we weren't in the process of doing that to one another. But because you were angry about a situation, you feel like you wanted to hurt me in some form or fashion. Okay, let's see what Jessica says. How she thought, Kevin, you would have any respect for her by calling your mom a bitch. You know, Jessica, I don't know if respect her wanting me to have respect for her was because I'm sure she thought her place in my world was done. And after she said what she said about my mom, guess what? It was. Kurt Green says she needs some mental help, seriously. Face Mob said, wow, your ass going to jail. Yeah, I would have been going to jail had I done what I wanted to do to her. My man Don says, especially when your mother had nothing to do. Yeah, my mom had nothing to do with the situation, nothing to do with the argument. And my mom had always opened her arms up to this girl, like to love her and let her in. And my mom, boy, anybody who know my mama, no, my mama don't love easy. My mom doesn't love easy. Ron Love said, I have 2 female Crip cousins. Boy, you crazy. Ron Love, I'm drinking out of a blue cup tonight, brother. So let me just recap. I talked about Demeco Ryan becoming the Texans' new head football coach. I think that was a great hire. I think Demeco's a man for the job. I think the Texans organization did themselves an A1 service by hiring Demeco Ryan. I think when you bring a man in and put a man in a man's position, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. We also talked about congratulating all the kids who today was National Signing Day. For those of you who don't know, that's all the high school kids in the country signing their national letters of intent to attend campus and universities across America. Hey man, look, whether it be a junior college, an HBCU, or a D1, D2, D3 program, an opportunity to extend your playing career, whether it be on the track or the court or the field, is an opportunity. But what's also given with that opportunity is a chance to be a student, to continue your education. The one thing that your kid has to take away from signing for this opportunity, all the paperwork that they will read will be real plain and simple. It will say your student athlete, your student athlete, your student athlete, your student athlete. Sign it. Boom, 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 boom. But you got to remember, you're a student first and an athlete second. You're a student first and an athlete second. I can't say that enough, because there are some opportunities and some doors that will be opened by some great people if your child takes care of their academic business. Some great opportunities will be out there for them. Fortunately for me, it was some people who loved me personally that I played with in college that looked out for me at the next level once I was done on campus. And I appreciated that, because I owed that to the university that took a chance on a little black kid from South Park, Texas, and Houston, and gave me a chance to go and experience something different. See, here's the thing that most kids, I'm not saying all, here's the thing that most kids don't have to deal with that I dealt with in 1987. This is sort of different for me, honestly. It was tough coming from an all-black community, attending an all-black high school, signing an opportunity to go to college, and then going on to a predominantly white campus and becoming a student athlete. Because what we take for granted is that everything is going to be football, and everything's not football. I'd never had a white teammate in my life. I'd never had a white friend. Let's be real. I'd never had a white friend in my life. So now I got teammates that are white. So now I got to figure out how to communicate. So the time you take learning to communicate, you also got to think about, how do I date? There's a lot of white girls here. It's also people and coaches, let's be real, frowning on the black guy dating the white girl. Man, there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of obstacles that African-American athletes face when going on to that predominantly white campus. But you got to figure it out. And the reason why I say most of our kids aren't faced with that today, because the school systems now, even in inner cities, are so diverse with Hispanics. So there's another culture. See, that's cultural diversity. There's cultural diversity. So you have to learn how to interact with people. One thing I refuse to do to my boys as a father, and I purposely did it, I put them in environments where they would have to and be forced to rub elbows with people who don't look like them, who don't talk like them, and who don't have the same cultural needs as them. And yeah, Greg, I did enjoy myself once I learned to fit in, but what I never learned to do was to take my ass to class. Let's see what Callie has to say. Callie says, that's how I felt about coming to the South from California. Never lived around blacks. Yeah, man, it's a culture shock. It's a culture shock. People can say what they want. It is a culture shock. Gary Manuel says, get that education, had to do it on my own, Baylor University. Yeah, yeah. We did have some of the same classes, Greg, but unfortunately, I wasn't in a lot of them. I did enjoy myself, Greg. So Byron said Cal wasn't ready to step in when his dad died. He trusted the wrong people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had to wake up. No, I totally agree with that, man. And they want to blame Cal for everything that's happened to this org, but then you say you want an owner like Cal. You say you want an owner that minds his own business and ain't gonna be meddling in the football operations. Well, this man tried that. He tried to hire competent people. He hired search committees to put people in place, and it basically got him nowhere. So yeah, now Cal stepping in, taking more of a role. I totally agree. Hey man, that's my hour. This has been What He Said with Kevin Walker. Today is February the 1st, 2023. Thank y'all for coming on. I got an announcement to make, man. I'm having a birthday party March 19th. I'm having a birthday party March 19th as we go on with the shows. I'll give y'all more information about it. Love you too, Greg. Man, I need you at my birthday party, bro. I need you at my birthday party, Greg. You too, B-Wash. So yeah, man, y'all come out and party with me for my birthday. It's way in March. It's way in March. So you guys come out, run. I know you'll be there, brother. It's way in March. March 19th is gonna be my birthday party. So I want y'all to come out and have a good time with me, sip a little bubbly, talk a little trash, love on one another, man, grown folk style. Hey, thank y'all for watching again. Done deal done. I want you there, bro. I need to meet you in person, man. Come on out, man, and party with me. I'm not a clubber, so, you know. Hey, y'all come out with me one night. Felicia, you better have your little short butt there, too. Peace. Love y'all, man.